All right, let's dive into this. Florence Scovel Shinn, The Game of Life and How to Play It.
Ooh, interesting.
I know,
I
right?
love that book.
Oh, it's so good. And like it really, I mean, the title itself,
Yeah,
it just gets you thinking
totally.
about life differently, you know? Like not a battle, but like a game.
Right, a game with rules.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
so we're going to be exploring this, like how to play this game effectively
Awesome.
because it's got these spiritual laws woven into it.
Yes.
And well, Scovel Shinn, she was like this spiritual teacher and artist.
Uh-huh.
And it's fascinating. She was teaching this stuff like decades before, Neville Goddard,
I was just thinking that, yeah.
who a
right.
lot of our listeners might be familiar with. And it's possible, like, he may have even known about her work.
Yeah, it makes you wonder.
Right, he's out there. So
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, what jumps out at you from this book, like, right off the bat?
You know what's really cool is she doesn't just like, throw these ideas out there.
Yeah.
She grounds them in something familiar, like the Bible.
Oh, interesting.
Right in the first chapter, the game. She's like, the Bible, it's the rule book
Cool.
for this game of life.
I like that.
And it, lays out all these spiritual laws about what you give out
Mhm.
is what you get back.
You get back. Yeah, that's powerful stuff.
Totally.
So then how do we play this game effectively,
All right.
Because she talks a lot about imagination, right? It's
Mhm.
not just, oh, I'm just wishing for things.
It's deeper.
Yeah, it's about like the images we hold in our minds
Right.
and how those can shape our experiences, which is kind of wild when you think about it.
It is. And she gives a really powerful example of this man who was so terrified of getting a rare disease
Oh, wow.
that he would like constantly think about it,
Oh, no.
read about it, even pictured himself having it. And tragically, he ended up manifesting that very disease.
Oh, that sends shivers down my spine.
Yeah, it's meant to
Make you think.
make you think. Exactly.
Yeah.
The point isn't to scare us, though.
Right.
It's to show us, like, how strong our thoughts really are.
So powerful.
They have power.
So it's not just, like think positive and everything will be fine.
Oh, no, it's more about,
There's more to it.
yeah, training your imagination, like, intentionally
Okay.
to align with the good that you want to see.
So it's like we have a role to play.
Exactly.
It's not just, the universe is going to do it all for us.
You're a co-creator.
We're a part of this. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So then she gets into these three departments of the mind.
Yes.
The subconscious, the conscious, and the superconscious.
The superconscious. Oh, yeah.
Can you like break those down for us a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, you can think of it this way, right?
Okay.
Like your subconscious, that's like this giant storage room
Okay.
filled with like all your memories,
Mhm.
beliefs, habits.
Stuff we might not even be aware of.
Yeah, exactly. Things you don't even realize are there.
And then the conscious mind is like what we're using right now.
It's the active part, yeah.
Making decisions, thinking.
Right, present moment.
Okay, got it. What about that superconscious?
Now that's where it gets really interesting.
Okay, tell me more.
So Scovel Shinn describes it as like holding the perfect pattern
Perfect pattern.
or divine design.
Divine design for
Wait,
each person.
Hold on. So she's saying there's like a plan, like a pre-planned path for each of us?
Well, not so much a rigid plan,
Oh.
more like,
Like a blueprint.
yeah, a blueprint. That's a good word for it.
Okay.
And the superconscious, it's like, this wise inner guide
Okay.
that can kind of nudge us.
Towards that blueprint.
Yeah, towards, like those times
Yeah.
you feel this pull towards something.
Mhm. Yeah.
That seems almost too good to be true.
Like destiny calling or something.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's giving me chills.
Powerful stuff. So she's suggesting that's our superconscious, like whispering to us, like, hey, this is the way.
I think so. That's how I read it.
Okay, now I'm really curious about the techniques she gives us, like how to actually tap into all this.
Me too.
We'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah.
Let's move on to chapter 2, the law of prosperity.
Right.
In this chapter, she shares this wild story about a woman who was down to her last $8.
Oh, wow.
But she had this strong urge to go back to her hometown,
Interesting.
which logically doesn't make sense, right?
No, not if you need money.
You need money, not travel expenses.
Exactly.
But there was something telling her to go.
That intuition can be so
When you
strong,
listen to that inner voice.
which can be hard
Oh, I know.
when logic is screaming the opposite.
Yeah, it can be a battle.
For sure.
But she went for it,
She did.
and it paid off.
It did.
She ended up meeting an old family friend who gave her thousands of dollars.
Wow, that's amazing.
Right. So was that just luck, or is there something deeper happening here?
Well, Scovel Shinn argues It's not about luck.
Okay.
It's about aligning yourself with the prosperity that you desire.
Okay, so she didn't just, sit back and wish for money.
No, there's action involved.
She took action, she followed her intuition,
That's key.
and opened herself up to receive.
Exactly. She opened herself up.
So, this isn't like a magic formula.
No, no,
In
I've
magic,
been.
there's actual work involved.
There's definitely work.
She talks about desire, faith, and the spoken word.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have to actively engage with these spiritual laws.
Yes, it's a partnership.
Not just wait for something to happen.
You have to participate.
Okay, that makes sense. So what about when you're trying to attract something positive,
Yeah.
but you keep focusing on the negative? Like, how does that work?
That's a good question.
Because she tells the story of this man who wanted to get out of debt,
Right, right.
but he kept thinking about all the ways he could fail.
Oh, he was negating his own efforts.
Yeah, it's like if you're trying to manifest abundance,
Mm-hmm.
but you're constantly dwelling on lack, it's like you're sending mixed signals.
You are. It's like,
It's like hitting the gas and the brakes at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to get very far.
That's a great analogy.
Thanks.
I remember another example that really shows this, like aligning your actions with your desires.
Okay, which one?
It's the story of the woman who's looking for an apartment during a huge housing shortage.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Everyone's telling her to give up. It's impossible.
Just get a hotel room.
Exactly.
Right.
But she refuses to accept that.
She had faith.
Yeah, she believes she will find an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And get this, she goes out and buys new blankets.
Oh, wow. In anticipation.
In anticipation, like talk about active faith.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's putting it out there.
And she finds a place, a beautiful apartment
She did.
that over 200 other people applied for.
Wow. Talk about competition.
It's incredible. And it makes you think, what are we preparing for?
Right. Good question.
Are our actions matching our desires?
It's a good thing to reflect on.
It is. And it leads us right into chapter 3,
Okay.
the power of the word.
Ooh, powerful.
This is where Scovel Shinn really emphasizes how much our words matter.
Words have power.
They shape our reality, and she uses this example
Okay.
of a man who always missed his car
Missed his car.
because he kept saying, I always miss my car.
Oh, wow.
His daughter, though, she always caught hers
Interesting.
because she said, I always catch my car.
So it's like what you say.
It's so simple, but it shows how our words can create our experience.
They set the tone. They set the expectation.
Yeah, and it ties into her ideas about superstitions, too.
Oh, right.
Like she argues that the power isn't in the lucky object itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the belief we project onto it.
Is the meaning we give it.
Exactly, like a rabbit's foot.
Right. It's not inherently lucky.
It doesn't have magic powers. It's what we believe about it.
We give it the power.
And she tells this funny story about these two businessmen.
Oh, yeah. But what was it they had?
They were obsessed with these lucky monkeys
The monkeys.
that they thought were bringing them success.
Interesting.
But it was like they were relying on these external talismans
Mm-hmm.
instead of acknowledging the true source of power
Which is within them.
within themselves.
It's
Exactly.
like they were giving their power away.
They're so focused on the monkeys, they weren't even giving themselves credit for their own hard work.
It's like they didn't believe in their own abilities.
Right. And when they finally got rid of the monkeys,
What happened?
their businesses actually improved.
Wow. So it was holding them back.
It was like letting go of those crutches allowed them to tap into their own strength.
It's a powerful realization.
It is, and it shows that true power comes from within.
Yes, absolutely.
She's not saying we should toss out every lucky charm.
No.
It's more about recognizing where the real power lies.
In our minds, in our beliefs.
And she has this great line, we are continually making laws for ourselves through our words.
Oh, that's a good one.
So it's not just what we say out loud.
It's the internal dialogue, too.
Yeah, that constant chatter in our minds.
All those affirmations and denials.
that are shaping our reality.
It's shaping everything.
And she encourages us to become more mindful of our words,
You choose them carefully.
internally and externally.
Be intentional.
Yeah, it's about shifting from that language of lack
Mm.
to a language of abundance.
A possibility.
She even contrasts like an old-fashioned chat,
What's that?
which is basically just negativity and complaining,
Oh, yeah, we all know those chats.
versus a new-fashioned chat, which
Huh.
focuses on what we do want.
I like that new fashioned.
So instead of gossiping about someone's problems,
Right.
why not talk about their potential?
Flip the script.
Exactly. It's about choosing to focus on the positive.
I love that.
Cultivate an attitude of gratitude,
Gratitude.
possibility. It's so powerful, and we're just scratching the surface here.
I know, right? One of the things that really stood out to me was how she emphasizes that boomerang effect.
The boomerang effect.
You know, what we send out, we get back.
Oh, like karma?
Exactly, karma. And she's not talking about like some kind of cosmic punishment,
Right.
more like understanding that our choices have consequences.
Okay, that makes sense.
So what we put out there, positive or negative, it tends to circle back.
I've definitely experienced that, like put out negativity, get negativity back.
Right. And sometimes I think we need that, you
To
know?
learn the lesson?
Yeah, that reflection.
Yeah, totally.
But here's what I find really fascinating.
Okay.
She says, this law of karma, it's not absolute.
Wait, so we're not, like, doomed to repeat our mistakes forever?
Oh. Not necessarily. She introduces this idea of a higher law.
A higher law.
Yeah, like a law of grace or forgiveness
Okay.
that can actually transcend karma.
So it's not just about being bound by our past actions.
Right. There's a way to break free.
Okay, tell me more about this law of grace. Like, how does that work?
Well, think of it like this. If karma is like cause and effect,
Hmm.
the law of grace is like hitting the reset button.
Ooh, I like that.
So by understanding these spiritual principles, we can neutralize that past negativity.
So we can create a more positive reality.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do we actually tap into this law of grace? It sounds kind of abstract.
It starts with recognizing that we have the power to choose
Choose what?
our thoughts, our reactions. Remember those three departments of the mind?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The conscious mind, that's where we have the power.
Okay, so we're not just victims of our circumstances.
Nope. We have a say in how we respond.
So then how do we actually do that? Like, give me an example.
She shares this example of a woman whose husband was having an affair.
Wow.
Tough situation, right?
Heartbreaking.
And, you know, understandable to feel anger, resentment.
Absolutely.
But instead of dwelling in that negativity,
Yeah.
Scovel Shinn encourages her to do something radical.
What is it?
Bless the other woman.
Bless the woman who was involved with her husband.
It sounds crazy,
Yeah,
right?
a little bit.
But the idea is by sending out love and forgiveness,
Mm,
you break that cycle of negativity.
okay.
It's not condoning the actions.
Right.
It's about rising above, not getting trapped in that resentment.
So it's about shifting your internal state,
Exactly.
even if the external situation doesn't change right away.
You got it.
That's powerful stuff.
It is. It reminds me of that saying, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Oh, I love that.
Right. It only hurts you.
So true.
And she also talks a lot about this idea of non-resistance, which really ties into this letting go.
Oh, yeah, like going with the flow.
Exactly, accepting what is.
She has that great quote. At one time in my life, I baptized children, but now I baptize events.
I give every event the same name.
Oh, yes, I remember this one. If I have a failure, I baptize it success.
Such a powerful reframing.
It's about choosing to see the good in every situation.
Even the tough ones, even the ones that seem negative.
So it's not about denying challenges.
No, it's about choosing how we respond to them.
And I remember she gives this example about a woman who kept encountering this man who made her feel financially inadequate.
Oh yeah, those energy vampires.
I know exactly the type.
And it can really bring you down.
If you let him, yeah.
But instead of resisting him, you know, blaming him for her financial woes,
Mm-hmm.
she did something amazing.
What did she do?
She started blessing him,
Blessing him.
baptized that whole situation success.
So she chose to see the good in him, even though he was triggering her insecurities.
Exactly. She shifted her perspective.
And what happened?
Well, shortly after, you won't believe this,
Tell me.
she met someone through this very same man
No way.
who gave her several $1,000s.
Get out of here.
It's true.
Talk about turning lemons into lemonade.
It's incredible.
That's a perfect example of how shifting your perspective can change the game.
And non-resistance.
Yeah.
It's like the obstacles become the stepping stones.
What you resist persists.
Exactly. You give it power
But when you accept it,
and work with it.
you can transform it.
It's alchemy.
So cool. Now, Scovel Shinn also talks about intuition as our unerring guide.
Yes, that inner voice.
But how do we know if it's really intuition or just wishful thinking?
That's the million-dollar question,
Right.
and it's something we all struggle with.
I know, I do.
She emphasizes that true intuition, it comes from a deep inner knowing.
Okay.
That quiet voice that speaks with certainty.
Not from fear
No, not fear.
or desire.
It's beyond that.
So it's not about trying to force a certain outcome.
No, it's about being open to receiving.
Guidance.
Guidance, yes.
I like that.
She gives this example of a woman who was trying to manifest a large sum of money.
Okay.
She prayed for guidance, asking for a sign, a lead, anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then she got this clear thought to give a friend $100.
Wait, she was being guided to give money away when she herself needed money.
It seems counterintuitive, right?
Fair.
But that's often how the universe works.
Okay.
Sometimes the fastest way to receive is to give.
Did it work?
It did.
She got the money.
She did. Shortly after giving that $100 away, she received a much larger sum.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's like proof that abundance is more than just money.
It's a state of mind.
Exactly. A state of mind. It's about trusting that the universe will provide.
Even when you can't see how.
Even when it seems impossible.
Which is so hard sometimes.
It is, but that's where the faith comes in.
Faith, trust, all of it.
It all works together.
And she also talks about tithing.
Oh, yeah. Giving a tenth of your income.
Right, which can be a challenging concept for some people.
It can, but it's a way of acknowledging that everything we have, it comes from a higher source.
And by giving back,
We demonstrate that faith.
that the source will continue to provide.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes
So
sense.
it's a powerful practice.
No, she really stresses the importance of active faith.
Not just wishing for things.
Yeah, you have to act as if it's already yours.
Embody that reality.
Align your actions with your desires.
Remember the woman who bought the blankets?
Oh, yeah, for the apartment she didn't even have yet.
That's active faith in action.
I love that story.
Me too. And she tells another one about a man who wanted to buy a fur-lined coat.
Oh, yeah, but he thought he couldn't afford it.
He went for it anyway.
He trusted his intuition,
He did.
and he bought the coat.
Even though it seemed irresponsible at the time,
And then,
shortly after, he got a huge commission.
no way, enough to cover the cost.
More than enough.
Wow, talk about the universe providing.
It's like a reward for his faith.
It shows that we need to take those leaps sometimes,
Step outside that comfort zone
even when it's scary.
and trust that the universe has got you.
I love that. And speaking of trusting Scovel
Yeah.
Shinn, she's very clear about not looking to the psychic plane for answers.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, she cautions against relying too heavily on external sources.
External guidance.
So she's not denying the psychic realm,
Right.
but she's saying that true guidance, it comes from within,
That's where the real wisdom is.
our own intuition.
That's still small voice.
That always knows the way.
Exactly.
This is starting to make so much sense.
It's all connected.
It's like she's giving us permission to step into our own power
To trust ourselves.
instead of constantly seeking validation from outside
We have everything we need within.
to create the life we want.
We are powerful creators.
I love that these chapters are so rich.
I know. It's like a whole new perspective.
Practical advice, powerful anecdotes,
It's all coming together.
non-resistance, intuition, active faith, the law of grace.
It's not just wishful thinking.
It's about taking action,
Aligning with those spiritual laws.
creating the life we want.
We are in the driver's seat.
All right, chapter 9, perfect self-expression.
Ooh, this is a good one.
This is where things get really deep. You know, she's talking about this divine design for each of us.
Like we all have a unique purpose.
Yeah, like we're born with it.
Yeah, it's a powerful thought.
It is. It makes
Yeah.
you think, like, what am I meant to be doing?
What's my purpose?
Yeah, and she's not saying it's like this rigid path.
More like we have gifts, talents
Yeah, waiting to be discovered.
to be expressed.
Like an inner masterpiece.
I love that analogy.
It's a good one, right? And it's not about forcing it,
No, not at all.
like trying to mentally picture what it should be.
It's about being open to inspiration.
Yeah, those aha moments.
Those downloads, they come out of nowhere.
But they feel so right.
Exactly. And she tells this great story
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
about the man who was down on his luck.
Yeah, practically penniless.
He walked into her class, gave her one of his last pennies.
Asked her to speak the word for his success.
It's so powerful.
It really is.
And a year later,
He came back.
successful, happy.
He said that right after she spoke the word, he got this amazing opportunity in another city.
He followed it.
And everything changed.
Just that penny, it was a symbol
Of surrender.
trust.
Yeah, in something bigger.
And it worked.
It did, and it goes back to her core message, you know. When we align with our divine design,
Our work becomes joyful.
not a burden.
It's an expression of who we are.
I mean, think about all the people stuck in jobs they hate.
So many.
They feel trapped.
We're scared to take a risk.
Yeah, and Scovel Shinn talks about this.
She says people are afraid to ask for what they need.
A raise, a promotion.
Support to follow their dreams.
It's like they're blocking their own blessings.
Holding on to that belief in lack,
Yeah, when we believe in ourselves,
our worth, our
we
value.
open up to receive,
The abundance is there.
waiting for us. It's pretty wild, and I love how she encourages parents
To speak the word for their children,
early on, even prenatally.
plant those seeds of possibility.
Imagine if everyone felt empowered to pursue their passions.
What a world that would be.
Right. And sometimes we don't even realize our own talents.
Hidden potential.
Yeah, she talks about stage fright.
So many people have that.
They have this gift, but they're afraid to share it.
She says, use the spoken word.
Affirm your courage, your confidence.
Step into the spotlight.
I like that. And she emphasizes balance, too.
Balance is key.
Giving and receiving.
Oh, that's a big one.
A lot of people are great givers.
But terrible receivers.
It's like they don't think they deserve it.
They block the flow.
Yeah. She tells that story about the woman who was offered a large sum of money.
But she refused it.
She said she didn't need it.
And then,
She ended up in debt.
for that same amount,
It's crazy. It's a reminder that receiving is just as important.
it completes the cycle.
All right, let's get practical. In Chapter 10,
Okay, let's do it.
Scovel Shinn gives us specific affirmations, denials,
The tools.
that we can use in different areas of our lives.
So how to actually apply these principles
Exactly. She even breaks down how to word them.
to get the best results.
Yeah, like with prosperity.
Okay.
She says, don't just ask for money.
Ask for what?
The enormous sums of money, which are mine by divine right,
Wow, I love that.
to reach me under grace in perfect ways.
It's about expanding those expectations.
Claiming your abundance.
Believing you're worthy.
And she reminds us, focus on the end result.
Act as if it's already happened.
That unshakable faith.
It makes the difference.
Remember that analogy about the desert blossoming as the rose?
Oh, beautiful imagery.
Right. Even in the most barren circumstances,
Beauty can emerge
abundance is possible.
when we choose to believe.
And she points out, the Lord's Prayer, it's a powerful affirmation. It's filled with commands, demands.
Not just meek
It
requests.
was about claiming our power.
As co-creators,
And it's not enough to just repeat affirmations.
no, you have to feel them,
Embody them.
believe them.
She also talks about the difference between visualizing and visioning.
Oh yeah, what's that about?
Visualizing, it's more mental.
Creating pictures in your mind.
Visioning, it's spiritual.
It's deeper.
It's about receiving those insights from the superconscious.
divine downloads.
Yeah, revealing our true path.
That's powerful.
And sometimes the biggest obstacle is ourselves.
We get in our own way.
Doubt, fear, indecision.
She tells that funny story about the woman who kept losing her glasses.
Oh yeah, because she kept saying, I wish I could get rid of these glasses.
And her subconscious took her literally.
It's amazing.
Words are powerful.
They really are, and sometimes the best thing to do is surrender.
Let go of control.
Trust in something bigger.
She tells that story about the woman in the umbrella
Oh yeah, in the storm.
on her way to an important meeting.
And she didn't want to show up looking a mess.
But the umbrella was inside out.
It was a disaster.
And she was so frustrated, she just exclaimed, "Oh God, you take charge of this umbrella. I don't know what to do."
And then an umbrella mender appeared,
Out of nowhere,
like magic.
offered to fix it right there.
It's a perfect example of how the universe supports us.
When we surrender,
Florence Scovel Shinn, The Game of Life and How to Play It.
it's more than just positive thinking.
It's about understanding the power of our minds,
Our words.
choosing them carefully.
Love, forgiveness, non-resistance.
It's all connected.
We are powerful creators,
Aligning with our divine design,
expressing our unique gifts
playing the game of life.
with confidence and joy.
So what laws have you been creating with your words?
What areas of your life could you improve?
By shifting your focus.
Aligning your thoughts with the good you desire.
Remember, the power is in your hands.
Go out there and play the game.